Hello, I'm Alex Miceli, and this is my one take for this week. I'm so excited. What a great week of golf. Andre Pavon, BMW International, Italian. An Italian winner, not a Molinari winner, another Italian. Watch out for that name. Women's PGA Championship, the KPMG. Heather Green. I got to tell you, there is so much positive about Heather Green being written by everybody that was there. I mean, we missed, if you weren't there, if you weren't at Hazeltine, you missed something. That's exactly what Michael Wan, the commissioner, is talking about. You got to come, you got to watch because it's really, really, really good. Jerry Kelly thought it was really, really, really good, winning in Madison, Wisconsin, his hometown, on the Champions Tour. And then, of course, Chez Reavie, who has been playing well, but could not get over the line, got over the line of the Travelers Championship. Of course he got help. Everybody gets help. You can't win without help. By the way, just a quick thought on that. Now, he's going to win over $1.2 million. It's a lot of money. There's no question about that. But is that enough? And I say that seriously. Is that really enough? I mean, when you win, it's 18% out there. It's going to go to 20%. But when you win on the PGA Tour, don't you think it should be 25, 30, 35? I mean, come on. It's hard to win on the PGA Tour. Let's go back. BMW International. Matt Wallace was a defending champion. Englishman. What a temper he has. I mean, seriously. First it's the British Masters, then it's the U.S. Open, then it's a kind of little here and a little there, and then all of a sudden went all over his caddy, Dave McNeely. 66-year-old Dave McNeely. Are you serious? Come on, somebody's got to smack the you-know-what out of that guy and get him straightened out. I mean, he penned, I love that term, he penned an apology in the Evening Standard back after what he did at the British Masters. Well, now he's going to have to write like 6 volumes after he continues to be such an idiot. Matt Wallace is a talent. Matt Wallace will probably play on the Ryder Cup. Matt Wallace needs to get his act together. You know, I don't know Heather Green, but I do know Michelle Wie. I've known her for a long, long time. If you covered golf out here, you know Michelle Wie. Michelle Wie looks like she's probably done. And that's just not me saying it, that's her saying it. How sad is that? We had such high expectations from Michelle Wie. She was going to put women's golf on the map if it wasn't already on the map. She was going to be the heir apparent to all these players that we talk about over and over again, the Nancy Lopez's, the Anka Sorshams, the Lorena Ochels. She was going to be that person. It ain't going to happen. It's so sad. It's just, it really is, because I don't know what you can say about when you have a personality like that. And she does. She has a great personality. She did so much for the game, even at her younger age. Now she's done. It's a sad, sad thing. And maybe medical science, like it did with Tiger, maybe they can figure out her wrist. But the likelihood is it doesn't sound very good. Let's zip back to Travelers. I talked about, the winner getting all that money, meaning in this case, Chez Reavie. Zach Sucher. If I was walking on the range, I would know Zach Sucher. I wouldn't. Honestly. Okay, so when I'm watching the third round of the Travelers and I see the guy's got a 5-shot lead at the turn, I'm like, wow, okay, let's see what happens. It wasn't good. It was actually painful, as Zach Sucher went from a 5-shot lead at the turn to 5-shot deficit in 9 holes. Chez Reavie lit the place up as Zach Sucher was burning the place down. Unbelievable, right? So now you're like, what's going to happen with Zach Sucher? Guess what? Zach Sucher said, I'll show you what's going to happen with Zach Sucher. I'm going to play well. So he shot 40 on the back 9 on Saturday in the final group. He shoots 30 on the back 9 on Sunday in the final group. Some people say penultimate. Nobody knows what penultimate is. Okay? And what did we get? We get a tie for second, $633,000. Zach Sucher can now pay off his credit cards that he's been using to finance his golf future. Now that is amazing. And that's why Zach Sucher deserves more money, for goodness sakes. Come on. Jay Monahan, where are you? Where are you? I think he deserves more money. A couple business notes, right? I think are interesting. The Corn Ferry Tour. You're like, Corn Ferry Tour? What's the Corn Ferry Tour? It's the old Web.com Tour, which used to be the old Buy.com Tour, or the Nationwide Tour, or the Hogan Tour, or the Nike Tour. That's how many names the developmental tours had, which they don't want to call it developmental tour anymore. But anyways, it's now called the Corn Ferry Tour. So when you hear that language by all these announcers, which they did all day Saturday and Sunday on CBS because obviously they felt the need. 10 years. 10 years, it's the Corn Ferry Tour. Interesting part about this, when Corn Ferry announced this in the middle of the week, their stock went up a little. Then all of a sudden they announced their earnings and their stock went 17% down at some point on Friday. Look today, a little 13, 14% down. I'm not blaming golf because I think golf is good for Corn Ferry. Maybe they need to figure out the rest of their business. Lastly, Callaway. Been doing pretty well. In fact, most people would say is one of the best companies out there. But then they started buying OGIO. They bought Travis Matthews. Not bad. It's within their scope. Then they bought Jack Wolfskin. Jack Wolfskin. It's an outdoor brand. No connection. No, none, zero with golf. Then all of a sudden, Janus Partners, venture capitalist, comes in and says, you know what? We're going to buy 9% of the Callaway stock, and we're going to start forcing the issue. What does that mean? Well, it means maybe they're going to jettison Jack Wolfskin at some point, but also means maybe they're going to take Callaway private. Their stock is zooming from about 15 to 18 after this news by Janus Partners and their acquisition of the stock. Does that mean anything to you and me? Probably not. What means more to you and me is what's going on with the tariff thing, because believe me, there's almost nothing that you're buying in golf that isn't somehow related to the tariffs, with the exception of the golf ball. Everything else is going to have tariff implications. So, I've given you everything I can think of. This is what I've had today. This is what I've been thinking about the whole week. A friend of mine this weekend said, why don't you call it Alex's rant? I'm like, this is not a rant. This isn't a rant. This is my one take, for goodness sakes. And next week, my one take is going to be from Ireland. That's right, baby, the Irish Open. Can't wait. Irish Open, Scottish Open, Open Championship, 3 in a row, and I'm going to be at every one of them, and I expect you to be following on morningread.com. I'm Alex Miceli, and this is my one take.